All right, welcome everybody. I'm so happy that you're here and I'm really excited about this. This webinar is about having a great summer without any stress or guilt. And the reason that I decided to do this kind of webinar is because, I remember the days that were like really difficult, the times that it was hard to live life and it was hard to have fun. And the reason for that is because I lived in a mess. I'm organizationally challenged. Wait, let me press play. Okay. I'm organizationally challenged and I don't like to say disorganized. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And I just didn't know how to get it together. And so there was always a duality going back and forth in my mind about, having fun and doing what I needed to do because it always felt wrong, right? It always felt, that's funny, right? It always felt wrong, right? It always felt wrong to, just abandon everything that was in the house and go out and just have a good time. And yet sometimes I would just step over stuff. Sometimes I would just be like, well, what's the difference if the dog just chewed up all the garbage and I was planning on going somewhere? So it was really an extreme, right? It was an extreme, one extreme to the other. So I want to talk a little bit about, who we are. Now, the reason that I have this slide is because being organizationally challenged, or even if, you really aren't extremely severely like I was, like a lot of us are. Now, listen, just in case, I don't know, we have quite a few new people here. And so I just want to make sure everybody understands. There's nothing wrong with not knowing how to keep house. Just like there's nothing wrong with not knowing how to speak Russian if you were born in England, okay? Or how to speak Chinese if you were born in America. If no one speaks that language, you aren't going to know it. And it's the same thing with music. Now, we all know some people that are really predisposed to music and language and numbers because we all have certain gifts and talents. But no one thinks there's anything wrong with you if you can't speak a different language, if you haven't learned. And it's exactly the same thing with being organized, okay? It's a mentality. This is scientific. I'm not making this up. Our right brain is more attuned to creative things. I have a slide for that. I'll talk about it in a minute. The reason that I'm showing this slide is because if you are in a position like I was many years ago where you just could not get it together, it isn't fun. It's not a game. And, we might have a lot of people in our lives that can, make fun and we can laugh with them and stuff. But you know what? It isn't funny at all. It's really a difficult life and it's embarrassing. And it shouldn't be. Just like it shouldn't be embarrassing if you can't play the piano if you have never learned to. Okay. So when I talk about that, when it was summertime and I wanted to go out and had a great time, and the reason that I wanted to do this webinar is because I know that frustration. I know that frustration of saying, I need to get this done, but I want to go have fun, and it's wrong to expect somebody to just know something having never learned it. All right. All right. We know how to clean. Most of us, and I almost can say all of us, organizationally challenged people are really clean people. We're not dirty, right? We are. Now, I'm not saying that there hasn't been any times out there when, we just said, I'm going to bed because I don't know what to do anymore. And that there weren't moments of, holy mackerel, how did this happen? But on the whole, we are not dirty people. We know how to clean. It isn't like we don't get the house clean. We just can't keep it that way, right? And so that's part of what we're going to go into today, how to get it started and how to keep it that way. Now, I'm going to talk about organizationally challenged and why I don't like to say disorganized. And I'll talk about a little bit now about the right brain and left brain, what I was saying before. It is it's a way of thinking. It's a gift. It's a talent. There are people that are very, very mathematical. We need them. There are people that are extremely detail minded. They're like the architects of the world, the mathematicians, the doctors. Now, I'm by no means saying that physicians and that, people who are mathematical cannot be right brained as well. I'm just saying that on the whole, right, mostly people who are very free spirited, very sidetracked in nature, able to drop anything at the drop of a hat to do something, even if it isn't a lot of fun, but it's something different because, we don't like to do things all that long. Things get boring too soon. It's just our nature, right? I don't like to say disorganized because no one is dismusical. No one is like, oh, would you ever say to your neighbor's, daughter, oh, I wish my daughter were more like you and she could play the piano like you do. No, if your daughter has never taken lessons, you would never say that to your daughter's friend next door, right? But if you went into her house and you saw how really, really tidy her room was, you might say, oh, I wish my daughter was more like you and how you keep your room so tidy, right? Because we don't get it. We don't get it that it is as much a skill as anything else that it is out there. And for anyone that's on this call and you understand what I'm talking about, I want to really give you like a cyber high five here because we really pull off a lot of stuff having never learned. We're pretty amazing people. If there really you have to give yourself a lot of credit. If there is a party that has to be had last minute and or if there's somebody that just came sick and they came up with you and said, look, I don't feel good, I can't do this party, and you'll whip it together. If you give that to somebody that your organized friend, your organizationally gifted friend or sister or neighbor or something, they wouldn't be able to pull it off. So give yourself some real kudos, okay? Because what we do having very little skill is quite amazing. Okay. Now, one of the things that I think is really important is we have to know how we tick. And once we learn how we tick, it's a lot easier and funner, to get things done. I know that many of us, I know I have, picked up lots of magazines on the grocery store line because it said, get organized in 12 easy steps, or figure out, learn how to, make the kids get their stuff together in the morning, or, always be on time, that kind of thing. And we grabbed it and then we'd read it and we'd be like, what? Like we didn't get it. And the reason that we can't learn from the Martha Stewarts of the world is because they don't think like us. They don't figure us out. They say prioritize, put first things first, and we see the entire picture. The right brain people cannot break things down like the left brain people do. We don't have that administrative skill. So when somebody says prioritize, we need a little bit more breakdown than that. Everything's a priority in our book. All right. Now we're going to get right to it, okay? I just wanted to give a little bit of a background and some information that maybe, everybody on this call isn't aware of, which is the whole right brain, left brain, and that we're wonderful just like we are, and that there's nothing to be ashamed of. I know for years and years I thought there's something wrong with me. It took me a long time to figure out not only there's nothing wrong with me, but I'm fabulous just the way I am, and so are you. All right. So here we go. All right. There is power in having a plan. It's what we need. Okay. We need a plan. I one time I did a course, my Tutor University. I did it for Asperger's patients. That Asperger's are a different level of autism, and one of their problems is that they need a lot of motivation, right, to do things and to get things done. And so when I spoke to my friend who was the doctor in charge of her patients, obviously that, I went and spoke to and taught my class to, she said that what I do is I have the left brain out in manifestation, whereas the left brain in Asperger's patients is almost non-existent. Now, of course, in us, it's there, right? It isn't completely non-existent, but it isn't as in tune as the right brain. So what a plan is is it is something that is a part of us that we don't have, that we can hold on to and work with. And it really helps us to feel in control. It makes us feel, actually, a lot of things that it does is it actually like stirs up happiness, because when you know what you're going to do, and there's all these hormones raging, and all these chemical synopsises, I hate that word, like triggered in the brain when certain things happen. This is one of them. All right, this is one of them. It's a wonderful thing to have a plan and then be able to execute it, instead of feeling like you're on a raft in the middle of an ocean and you forgot your paddle on the beach. All right, so we're going to talk about what to do, where to do it, how to get it done, and my secret to keeping the house picked up. We're going to talk about first what to do, where to do it, and how to get it done. Now, it might sound really simple about the what to do. Keep the dishes and the laundry going, right? Now, if things are going on, and don't remember something, okay? You don't have to keep up with the laundry. Whatever laundry piles you have now, they're not having any babies. So if you make sure that you do one load of laundry a day, and the way wait, let me see. Is this going to be recorded? I need to listen. Oh yes, absolutely. It's going to be recorded, and I'll send it out. There's a lot of people that are in different time zones, and they text messaged me and they emailed me and they told me they signed up, but they're not able to attend. So I will record it and I'll send it out. So you'll get it also. Okay. All right. So, about the dishes and laundry. All right. Here's the thing with the laundry. What you have going on, even if you have like piles and piles and, overflowing hampers and all kinds of, closet, exploding laundry going on. If you can get a load done a day, you will at least keep up with what's going on now. What you have already isn't going to get any bigger because it can't multiply. Now, if you have anyone in your life that is able to reach the button, right? I'm not saying on a chair, all right? I'm saying on their 2 feet, they can reach the controls of a washer and a dryer, then they're able to do their own clothes. So now I have this thing where I believe that no child should have to do the family laundry. Now I don't think it's wrong if you have them, take out the towels and fold them, because a lot of smaller children can do that, but they can't do laundry yet, but they can help out in that way. But that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having to wash dad's clothes, mom's clothes, brother's clothes, sister's clothes. I don't think that is appropriate, but they can certainly do. Now that's just my opinion, okay? If you feel like that's wrong, then you go for it, okay? I don't mean to be giving any kind of parental guidance here. I'm just saying for me. But they really can do their own laundry. So if you have a hamper in their room for them, and you tell them, only your clothes go in this hamper. Don't put your clothes in the bathroom hamper. Don't put your clothes in mommy's hamper. Don't throw your clothes by the washing machine. And either give them a time, like maybe every Wednesday they do their clothes, or when the lid doesn't go on the top, they do their clothes. Whatever you decide, but they can do their own laundry. You shouldn't be doing the entire family's laundry. Anybody that lives in a house makes a mess, and anybody that makes a mess needs to take care of it. So there's that, okay? This goes as well if there's any wives on the phone, or if there are any husbands on the phone. If you're a husband, do your own laundry. And if you're a wife, ask your husband to do his own laundry. It really is not, when we're talking about the day and age that we live in today, it's not Leave It to Beaver anymore, okay? We're not in Little House on the Prairie anymore, okay? The game has changed, but we're playing by the same rules. And they really do have to change. If the woman is going out of the house, even if you don't work full time, okay? Even if you don't work at all, life is very complicated now, and there's many things to get done. And I'm not saying that if you stay home and take care of the house, that maybe laundry shouldn't be part of whatever it is that you do, but you really do have to realize that a job is never 24/7. Everybody gets time off and everybody has breaks. So, discuss it, okay? Especially if you're, older like I am, or you were brought up in a family of very, very traditional people. We tend to, think that the rules are still the same, even though the game is so changed, okay? So as far as laundry goes, have a discussion about it, all right? Do your own. Have your kids do their own if they could reach. And if you have a significant other, there should be no reason that they don't do their own laundry, okay? All right, so there's that. Um, sometimes sometimes we could be martyrs, and that's never good. Okay, so another thing is dishes. Now, what you have to do with the dishes, all right, you've got to kind of make a clear decision. Dishes will no longer be just put in the sink. And if you live with other people, you have a talk about it, okay? If you have a dishwasher, holy mackerel, that's easy. Rinse it off, put it in the dishwasher. And then before bed, you start that dishwasher. If you don't have a dishwasher, before bed, all the dishes are done. Do not go to bed with dishes in the sink. Now, if you are an organizationally challenged person and you live in a home that is, cluttered, and you're just getting started, getting it together, then you may have to do a lot of, the beginning work on your own to get people to see that this is a trend and that you're setting a precedent. And also so that you have the control and you can begin to delegate. Until we get it, feel like we've got a handle on things, it's difficult to delegate to other people. So if you have a bunch of dishes that have to get done now, right, then this is what you got to do. And I know it's late tonight in our neck of the woods, where I am anyway. I don't know what time zone you're in, but I don't expect you to stay up and, late tonight, but make it a point that before bed, at least by tomorrow, all right, so that what you're going to do sometime tomorrow is have every dish in the house is clean, all right? If you have no dishwasher, put water in the sink, hot water, sudsy stuff, soak them for a while so that you can easily clean them, put them in the drain, and in the morning, put them away. All right, if you have a dishwasher, soak them if you need to, put them in the dishwasher, start the dishwasher in the morning, put them away. All right, so these are two things that will make your life so amazingly happy, especially during this time of year when we really just want to have fun, that you're going to be like, that was way too simple. All right, and I'm telling you, I have a niece who has 3 kids, and one of them is a daughter who thinks that she's a princess and gets changed like it's her job throughout the day. And she had so much laundry. When I told you this one tip, she said, Aunt Katie, they call me Aunt Katie. Aunt Katie, I don't think that is going to work. I don't think that is going to do a thing. You have no idea how much laundry I have. I saw her a week later and she said, oh my God, before bed, I put a load in. I wake up in the morning, I throw them in the dryer. I get in the shower. I do what I have to do. Before I leave the house, they're done. It's unbelievable. Now, listen, you have to remember something, all right? If you're not used to doing this, it's going to feel unnatural, and you're going to have you're going to balk at it. All right. You're going to be like, I don't want to do this. No. Or you're going to, it's not the norm. Whenever you're going against the norm, do you ever hear like going against the grain? Okay. There's a reason for these sayings. It doesn't feel right. You've got to be your own mommy. All right. And say to yourself, no, this is what you want. So you have to do this to get it, right? Have you ever gone on a diet and you wanted to get on that dress for that wedding or that reunion you were going to, and you told yourself you're not eating ice cream every night, and every night you went to bed without the ice cream? Not only did you feel empowered, but you got used to it. And then it was like you were your own mother. And that's what you have to do now. All right. So I'm telling you that it sounds like, well, man, that's easy. Sure. Yeah, sure. It really sincerely is easy. But if it's not something you're used to, it isn't going to feel easy. Do it. I'm telling you, do it. And the rewards will feel so good. And remember something else, okay? When I say before bed, It doesn't mean before you crash, okay? If it's to the point where you've been running all day, you're ready, you just got dinner done, or you just picked up dinner from, wherever, pizza place or whatever, everybody's home, you ran somebody to some soccer thing, or you ran somebody to their class that they're taking. Now you're home. Maybe you have some work to do at home from your job, and you haven't cleaned up dinner yet. That's not the time to get the clothes in the washer. Think about what you have going on during the day. And then, it could be half an hour after you get home from work, or half an hour after your, one portion of your day is over, right? Something else that I suggest in Tidy Tutor University that I really would like to mention now is whether you stay at home and work, whether you stay at home and you're full-time mom or dad, or you work outside the home and then you come home, give yourself 5 minutes to readjust, to put the other hat on, okay? So and you know what, I'm telling you, it works if you tell the people around you, because you might be saying, oh yeah, right, like, little Billy's gonna let me sit down for 5 minutes. Tell them, they'll do it. As long as you respect yourself, they'll respect you. We teach people how to treat us. So, you tell them, listen, mommy's gonna take 5 minutes, and then set a timer. If you can get a timer that dings, that would even be better. Say, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and I want you to just leave me alone for 5 minutes, and then get a tall glass of water, sit down, and drink it. I'm telling you, the level, it's not like you have to ignore them or anything. It just has to be a level of peace that's acceptable to you, okay? And if that means you hear nobody, then you hear nobody. We're all different, okay? But make sure that you get 5 minutes of peace when you get home, and drink a tall glass of water. We don't drink enough water. Okay, I have a comment, and I'm going to read it. It says, now remember, sometimes when I read comments, it's after the fact, so it might not make sense with what I just talked about. It said, all right, Clarissa said, absolutely. I have to tell myself this is something that I want because it doesn't feel normal. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the validation. Yes, it's very true. It's very true that when we want something, and we know this is true, we know this is true in every endeavor in life. Everything that's worth getting begins with pain. It's unfortunate, but it's true. But when you really want it and you feel the pain, it feels good. And now I could say that because, let's say this. Say you go to the gym, right? You say to yourself, I don't care if I'm freaking, Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I just want to have some firmness. I just want to not be flabby. That's all, right? So I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to work out 4 days a week, and I'm going to walk 3 days a week. All right, let's just say that's your goal. And you go to the gym, and you come home, and you're zero pain, none. You don't feel anything in your legs, in your arms. You would be saying to yourself, I didn't do something right. When you feel the pain, you know you're doing something right. And it works the same way, even with this. So when you start to feel that pain of, I don't want to do this, this sucks, nobody should have to do this, how come I have to do this, whatever it is that you're beginning to, feel that is in the negative, say to yourself, oh, this is great. Just like you say this is great when you go to the gym, because it's the way it goes. You don't start a garden and not get calluses on your hands. But what happens once that garden is established? You don't have calluses anymore, do you? What do you have? You have enjoyment. You go out there, you weed every other day, you water it, you take care of it. It isn't difficult if you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it after the foundation has been laid. And it's the same thing with anybody who's on this call that has been to a gym. It's the same thing, or ride a bike, or anything that you've done physical, right? You know that in the beginning, man, it hurts, right? Yoga, it hurts in the beginning. But after a little while, not only does it not hurt anymore, but it's also fun and you like it. All right. So when you get to that part, all right, I want you to remember that Kathy said, this is supposed to happen and it's going to get fun. I'm going to like it. All right. Okay. I'm going to read another comment. Terry said, habits take time to make. Sometimes, like 21 days, and you need to start today. Yes, there has been a 21-day proving feat theory that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Clarissa said, yay, and she had a smiley face. Okay. All right. So, this is another thing that we have to do. All right. Write everything down and then think before you say yes. And by what, when I say here, when I have this little image here that says urgent priority, you are the urgent priority, okay? Your life. If you live with anyone, your significant other, if you have any children, your children, okay? Before you say yes to anyone, what is inside of your home and your primary responsibility comes first. Don't feel like you're not being giving, you're not being loving. If you go up to one of your organizationally gifted friends and you say to them, oh, you know what, next week I need to get picked up at the airport. Do you think you could pick me up? And they said to you, tell me what date it is. Let me check my calendar and I'll let you know. Do you think you say to yourself, oh my God, how rude, or what a bitch? No, you don't say that at all. It's completely acceptable. We have to get there, all right? We have to get there where we are very willing to take care of us and our own first, okay? All right. Now, where to do it. We're going to talk about where to do it. Now, when I say this, what is all the buzz about? Wait 1 second. I have to take a sip of water, okay? Thank you. Okay, when I say what is all the buzz about, what I'm talking about here is minimalism, because that's something that I'm kind of on the road here with. I'm experimenting with. And what all the buzz about is there's way too much stuff. Now, we in our group of Tidy Tutor World, we are completely aware that our biggest obstacle is too much stuff. We have got to get rid of clutter. Now, if there's anybody on this call that is only introduced to me because of the Feminalism page, then you have to know that if you're living in with too much stuff and you really want to embrace the minimalistic lifestyle, it has to begin here. It has to begin with first decluttering, just the surfaces, and then we go from there. Did you ever hear that, God only gives us as much as we could handle when we're handling it? Babies don't get meat at first. They drink milk, and then after that they have some smashed fruit and some cereal. It's what we can handle when we can handle it, and this is really no different. So really our number one obstacle is too much stuff. And so where we're going to begin is with our stuff. And you might be saying, wait, in the summer? We're going to start in the summer? Yes, because the thing is that no matter, and this, no matter how hard you've tried, you can't keep it that way. We know, like I said earlier, we know how to clean, but we don't know how to keep it that way. And the reason for that is we have too much stuff. So we have to embrace the fact that we've got to get rid of things. Now, what area or room will make you most happy to get done? That's where you're going to start, okay? Now, remember, we're keeping the dishes going, we're keeping the laundry going. We aren't expecting, after this webinar, that, okay, now tomorrow when I get started on that, everything in this house is going to begin to be ship-shape. That's not a reality, especially if you're overflowing, especially if you have too many things and every drawer that you open is falling apart, or overflowing. What's the word? I guess overflowing is the word, right? No matter where you go in the house, maybe, you can't even put clothes away because you have too many clothes. They won't fit in the drawers, right? So no, after this webinar is over, it's not going to be like, okay, now next week, everything's going to be perfect. But after this webinar, you're going to have permission. You'll give yourself permission to just enjoy what's going on in the world and you're chipping away at what's going on in the house because you're taking care of laundry and dishes, and you're going to begin to start getting rid of the clutter, right? And where you're going to begin is a room that's going to make you the most happy. Now, if you don't live alone, you can, get a little meeting together and say, look, I want us to do something this summer. And, give them a spot too, whoever they are, all right? If it's your children, if it's your significant other, wife, husband, anything, you want to give them a spot. And so you'll get more done, right? And you want to know where to start, okay? You start where it makes you most happy. And listen, where it makes you most happy, it could be a spare room, right? It doesn't have to be your main living area. As long as you keep going with what's going on now, like when you leave a room, you don't leave something in there, it's not going to get any bigger. Keep telling yourself that no matter what's going on in any room in your house, if you, right at this moment in time, say to yourself, I am going to turn around before I leave each time a room and take a look and see, is there anything that I did right now? Just take care of that. It means that that room is not going to get any worse than it is now, and you're going to start to begin to build really good habits, right? Okay, so we're not talking about cleaning here, and that's why I say don't worry about pockets of filth. Like if you have a quarter that rolls underneath the refrigerator and you're dejunking your kitchen, don't worry about that under the refrigerator needs to be cleaned out, all right? We're not cleaning now. We're getting rid of stuff, all right? Stick to whatever focus you're in, because remember that we tend to be sidetracked and jump from one thing to another, and that's why it feels like we're working all day but we get nothing done. And another thing that I don't have written here is that we have a warped perception of time. So don't feel like it's either taking too long, not taking long enough. If you're working on something, you're like, oh my God, this is going to take forever, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it takes way less than half the time that you thought it was going to take. All right. So you kind of, at this point, like, can't trust yourself. And when it comes to that, commit to it. Okay. Set a timer and delegate. Timers are our favorite, our best friend, because when we're working on something, we don't want to do it anymore. The timer keeps us on track. And then we know, all right, I could do this because it's only for another 10 minutes, and you can stick to something for another 10 minutes. Okay. Now we're going to talk about how to get it done. All right, the power of 15, all right? 15 minutes, it's crazy how much you can get done in 15 minutes. If all you want to do from this entire thing that we do today is your dishes, your laundry, right? And just work 15 minutes a day in a specific spot in the house that would really thrill you to see something done in. Maybe it's a spare room. Maybe it's your dining room that has been overrun with crafts and things. Maybe it's your living room. Maybe it's your bedroom. Lots of times our bedrooms are our worst places because it's the easiest spot to dump everything. Nobody goes into a woman's bedroom, a man's bedroom without permission. So it's real easy to know that you're having company, shove everything in the bedroom and shut the door. So just pick a room, all right, and do 15 minutes a day. It's not a lot, even if you work full time and long hours. Everybody's got 15 minutes. It isn't that long. What ends up happening is, I'll tell you, that you'll be like, you'll set your timer, and then less than halfway through, you will swear that something happened to the timer. And you're going to go and look at the timer and say, oh my God, it's only been 6 minutes, because really we can get a heck of a lot done in 15 minutes. We don't realize it. So by the time that 15 minutes is up, we've done quite a bit. I have a video that's on my website, thetidytutor.com. It's only going to be on for a period of time because it's eventually going to get into the members area and not available anymore. So it's how to clean a messy room, how to get started cleaning a really messy room. So if you want to go to that and do your 15 minutes like that, but I'm telling you that if you really just choose to just get into the room and do something for 15 minutes, even if you're going to say, I'm just going to throw out all the garbage. I'm going to do that for 15 minutes. I'm just going to do everything on the surfaces for 15 minutes. I'm going to do everything that's on the floor for 15 minutes. Give yourself a specific thing to do because sometimes we'll get overwhelmed if we don't have that specific thing. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing that's another thing that we're going to get done right now. All right. Now we're going to have 4 new habits. This is real important. Okay. Do it now. That means that anything that you've got going on now, that from this time forth in the summer, and it should be for the rest of your life, when you're able to do it, just do it. If you just drop something, pick it up. If you spilled something in the refrigerator, wipe it. If everything you could do now, and this should be something that you say in your head over and over. Just do it now. Just do it now, right? Remember, we have a warped perception of time, and we think that everything takes too long. So if that's why a lot of times us organizationally challenged people, we don't shut cabinets or drawers, because somehow we think it's, oh, we're always in a hurry. We're always in a hurry. So we walk out of the room, we have cabinets open, we have drawers open. It takes about a millisecond to shut a drawer, okay? So the do it now habit is something that we're going to do right now. Say no. We spoke about that already. We didn't speak about this though. Get up a half an hour before you need to, and shower, dress, and groom before anything. These 2 things, if these are the only 2 things you do after we hang up the phone tonight or get off the computer tonight, I'm telling you, it'll make such a difference that people will notice. People will say to you, wow, what have you done? And remember, this is if you don't go out to work. This isn't just people that go out to work. We tend to be all very proper and make ourselves nice and groom ourselves for the outside world. Those people that don't love us, and those people that maybe will never see again, and some of them that we work with, we wouldn't care if we would ever see again, because if you won the lottery, you'd quit your job. But the people that live behind our front door, we can sit around in our pajamas all day. We can not take a shower and look like crap. And these are the people that would take a bullet for us if they needed to. Like, these are the people that we love beyond the word love. And yet we'll make ourselves good for other people and not for them. Now, let's say you don't live with anybody. Let's say you live alone. Why would you take care of yourself for strangers and not for yourself? It matters. It matters what you feel like and how you take care of yourself. It's important. And if you believe in the Bible, there's a verse that says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's a commandment to love yourself. We can't love other people unless we love ourselves. And taking care of ourselves really is the basic. I mean, that's just basic, isn't it? Okay. Shower, dress, and groom before anything. And this, I know that this might sound like, well, why should I do that? Like, let's say it's a Saturday. I'm not saying you have to shower, dress, and groom at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. But the first thing that you do is make sure that you shower, dress, and groom. If you have 10 things to do and one of them is taking a shower, and you do it on the 6th or 7th thing, I can guarantee you something's going to come up in the meantime that is going to hinder that from being able to happen, and you're going to be sorry about it. And I know that it's happened before. So it's real important, okay? Shower, dress, and groom before anything, okay? Now, my secret to keeping the house picked up, this is going to help you like right now. I want you to walk around the house and check your hot spots, all right? Everybody has hot spots. Things maybe that are around your bathtub, things that are on your counter in your kitchen, things that are on your counter in your bathroom, a chair that you have clothes hang over, a desk area that you work on, shoes that come up in the foyer. Maybe you have sporting gear and stuff when the kids come home. Mail, excuse me, paperwork. I don't want you to clean it up, okay? I don't want you to clean it up. If you work at your computer with a bunch of stuff, and then tomorrow you come down to your same desk area and you're going to work on that bunch of stuff, and that's the way you work with it all over the place, you don't have to change who you are. Get yourself a decorative box that will work in your area that you are. And when you're done, just put everything in there. If you open up, if you do, and then tomorrow dump it all out, and then just put it back. It's not really changed anything except the visual, right? The tub area, I can't tell you how many people just like feel like, oh my God, I could have had a V8 when I tell them this. It's so simple. For one thing, the tub area, I'm going to talk about the tub area and the sink area in your, the vanity in your bathroom. Get a basket, okay? and try to get a plastic basket that's easily washed. And I don't mean scrubbed with a rag or anything, just something that you could put underneath the shower, like maybe once a month or something, because soap and stuff will get gooky on it. But you don't want anything that's too maintenance. You don't want to have anything that's really a lot of maintenance. So get yourself a plastic basket and put all of your toiletries in them, especially what's by your tub, because it could be right outside your tub or your shower area on the floor, right outside of it. I am absolutely not a fan of those things that stick on the walls, or those sticks that they have on the side with the little shelving things on them, or the things that hang on the shower. You know why? It's just more to clean. Not only do you have to clean that stick thing or those things that are on the wall, and if you want to get your walls clean, because we really should be cleaning our bathrooms, right? So if you want to get squeegee your shower wall, you're going to want to do that. Why? Because you're going to have to pull down all those stupid things that you have stuck on it. So what happens? You don't do it. And then that thing that hangs on the shower head, that gets all gunky. Don't tell me it doesn't get all gunky. I know that it does. It gets all gunky, it gets gross, and it's just. And then another thing about the wall, right? We're on the wall thing again. You can't wash the wall. You got to take that thing down. And if you have a whole bunch of crap on that thing, what is it going to take that thing down, right? Just get a basket, maybe two. And, depending on how much stuff you have. Another thing is, stop buying so much stuff. Buy it, use it, get rid of it. And don't say, yeah, but if there's a sale, I want to get all the sale items. You spend more money on sale items than you would if you bought full price when you needed it. Because let's face it, how much do you really use? How much after a while do you just either get rid of or wish you didn't have, cluttering up, your under the cabinet or your linen closet or whatever it is, right? Remember, if it worked the way things are working, you wouldn't be here. So get yourself a nice basket, put it outside of the tub area, put all of your toiletries in there, and that's it. Now, if you have, kids or whatever, and they use stuff and have it on the little edges, when you go in the bathroom, just throw it in the basket. That's all. You don't have to be like, the Gestapo, but that's where it goes. Same thing with the countertop in the bathroom. Not only, and this goes for your dresser too, if you have a whole bunch of stuff that you like, especially husbands, they tend to empty their pockets. And so just get a little wicker basket for them and tell them, when you empty your pockets, honey, could you please put it in here? Not only will they always have what it is that they've emptied, but it makes it neat. And not only does it make it neat, but it makes it really easy to dust. Because when you have 500 things standing on a dresser, even though they might look really pretty, right? How pretty does something look in a lot of dust? It doesn't look pretty at all. Or with cobwebs on it, because you can't get to cleaning it. Who has time for that? We live in a different world now, right? That's why Fortune Off went out of business. Anybody that knows Fortune Off, nobody buys that stuff anymore. It's a different world. So don't care so much that your dresser doesn't look like your grandmother's with the round mirror glass thing with all of her perfume bottles on it. Put them in a basket, and then when it's time to clean that surface, bada boom, bada bang, it's done. You take it off, you wipe it, you put it back. That if you have to pull off 100 freaking bottles, you're not going to do it, right? So there's that. Shoes, first of all, think about how many shoes you have and how many shoes you buy for your children, all right? That you don't need that many. If you have way more shoes than fit in your house, rethink your shopping habits and, stop, right? Stop. Donate what it is, because I'm sure if you have so many shoes, there's a bunch you're not even wearing. So, after you have curtailed how many shoes you have and those that you love and live with, then just figure out a way to put them, to keep them neat. It doesn't have to be perfect. Get a big wicker basket. There's so many different ways that you could organize shoes, right? You could just throw them all in there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it really is nice when it's orderly. Same thing with your mail and stuff, but the thing about this is that I get from a lot of people, they say, Well, I don't want to put all my mail in a decorative box and my paperwork and stuff, because then it's just going to overflow and get all over the place. I'll give you like a little freebie here that's from Tidy Tutor University. Give yourself a desk day. I give yourself 2 desk days. So say every Tuesday and Thursday. It's days that you're taking care of papers. So whatever it is, like when you get mail in and you put it in that decorative box because you don't want papers all over the place in the house, then you just say, all right, I'm going to put it in this decorative box, and on Tuesday, I'm going to go through it. And, maybe give yourself a timer. I'm just going to go through it for 15 minutes. If you're not done, you're not done. Thursday, you do it again. All right. And that's the way that these things don't get, overrun, because you have days designated to do those things. All right. So what I call this is controlled stash and dash. We all know that, like, when people come over, we run around like jackasses and shove things because, maybe you might have had a whole weekend to prepare the house, but the house is such a wreck that by the time an hour or two before they came, you're still not done. So what do you have to do? You have to push stuff in places. You have to put things in boxes. Here, kids, run this to the attic, put this in my bedroom, right? That kind of thing. Well, this is sort of like that, only not. Those things that you always have to like run and stash, make a home for them. If that's where if you come in the house and you have this one area in your foyer, say, with a whole bunch of stuff on it, look at that area and say, what little packages can I get that will make this area not look like crap and make me happy, because I'm actually going to, put things there. Like if you look at that area and you say to yourself, all right, look, this is a mess. I don't like the way it looks. I'm going to take all of my sunglasses now and all of this, well, I'm going to take all of this stuff that I always have on here. I'm going to make sure I put it in my bedroom. No, you're not. Who are you kidding? No, you're not. If that's what you do, if you can't beat them, don't. If you know what you do, figure out how you tick and then make it work, right? Make it work for you. We're not Martha Stewart. We're never going to be. And we don't want to be. We don't care. Not that I don't think those people are wonderful, but they're really pretty rigid. And I like being spontaneous. So, we don't want to be anybody different. Figure out how you tick and go with it. All right. These are just a couple of pictures here. Everybody has wires. We have wires all over the place, for our computers and our cell phones and our video cameras and our computer, what's it called? The printers, lots and lots of wires. So get a decorative box and stick all the wires in there, and then at least you know where they are. You might have to go through them, but you know where they are. You have any special things, put them in a little box like this. This is where I keep my papers, right here. All right. I'm in my kitchen on the counter because I work in my kitchen. That's where I do my paperwork. So I'm not going to do what I always used to try to do and make it be in my office or make it be in the piano room or make it be in this area. I don't work there. I work in the kitchen. So I made it work for me. All right. Make it work for you. All right. These are things that are necessary. You need hooks, all right? You need baskets and things. Just take a look and see what you need to make things happen. And I'll bet you that you have a lot of stuff you already have in the house, that you don't have to go out and get anything. All right. And I'm going to read a couple of comments here. Terry said, what would I do without baskets to contain the stuff? Love, love, love the idea. We're going to talk about, support for anybody who wants more help, right? If you've always wanted to be organized, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. I like to give a lot of value on my webinars. Sometimes I join webinars quite a bit, and it always kind of irks me when it's done, there really isn't anything for me to do. And I really have given you plenty to do. But, it's only the tip of the iceberg. There is more. I have a course that I teach, and it's called Tidy Tutor University, right? And this is what it looks like, and it's brand new. For anybody who hasn't seen this new version of it, because Lacey's my assistant, and she's been working on it, and it's beautiful, isn't it? So we have 4 sessions of Tidy Tutor University. Session 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it is what once you've enrolled in Tidy Tutor University, it's yours for life. You can reference it all the time. And I have review calls for each one. So if you just want to get a little synopsis of them, it's extremely comprehensive and it works like a charm. Okay. So We also have community support. Everybody who takes Tidy Tutor University, everybody who takes it, has access to each other. It's a wonderful thing. You're not alone. You really are. When you take the course, you're not alone. It might seem like you're alone in your house taking it, but there's others that are taking it and have taken it. And we are in a private Facebook group, and I keep it private because these things that we deal with, a lot of them are very personal. A lot of people do not understand us, and we don't want anybody in our group that doesn't understand us. So that's why it's private, and we're there together to support each other and to help each other out. We also have something that's Tidy Tutor Insiders Club. Here, this is what it looks like, Tidy Tutor Insiders, and these little tabs here are part of our Insiders group, and they're all different help, all right? So we also do coffee talks, and that's where we get together once a week, and we continue to get help and support from each other and from me. Now, what I'm doing for the last several years, I've been offering Tidy Tutor University for $197, and that's a 50% savings because I wanted everybody to afford it. It's a bargain at $197. But I still have people who ask me to make it more affordable for them. So I wanted to make it possible for everyone to say that they like, for nobody to say that I can't afford Tidy Tutor University. So I'm now making it easy as possible for everyone to make this happen for themselves and to have access to it. So right now, and for the next 48 hours, I'm making it available for just $25 a month to everyone who is in this webinar and to those who will receive the recorded versions of the webinar in the next 48 hours. Listen, I'm really excited about this because the reduced pricing it'll make it the biggest class ever. And everybody that has taken Tidy Tutor University and that is on this call knows how exciting it is to be on a class with someone like let's just say Terry and Christina, all right? And oh my God, I don't want to leave anybody out. There's Kathleen, there's Tim, there's Suzanne, there are so many, and please don't be upset if I left you out, okay? There's so many of us that when we begin to take the class, we've taken it together and we get so close. And it's like, we've all done it, haven't we? Haven't we all like sat in a classroom? Who forgets who they sat in a classroom with? And it's really the same thing. All right, so if you've ever dreamed of living an organized life, you can make it happen now with Tidy Tutor University and with this ridiculously reduced price. If you join right now, there's no need to think about whether you can afford $25 a month. You know you can, and the reward is so great. I want to thank everybody for attending. And if you have any questions about this, about what I'm talking about in the offer, all right, ask me now. I want to answer your questions. You see, if it's $197 and you pay $25 a month for 8 months, you paid for the course. And not only that, what I'm doing is I'm giving you the access to Tidy Tutor Insiders for that entire time as well. If it's something that you've dreamed of for your whole life, to really get it together, to feel happy, to walk into your kitchen and just get a cup of coffee and to have company over and to, all of the things that we know that we want because our place is not the way we want it to be. It's a great value, and I'm really blessed to be able to offer it this way. I spoke to my daughter Katie actually, and I told her that I get so many emails saying, I know $197 is not too much, but I can't afford it. And so we came up with this because it really isn't about anything except for helping people. That's my passion. I'm just going to read this. Okay, this is from Christina. I believe Christina is on the call. And this was quite a while ago, so she would actually have more to say. She said, I stumbled on Tidy Tutor after I plugged in organizing ideas in a YouTube search. About 7 months ago, I watched and loved her first session. Although I truly appreciated Kathy's approach and everything she said, I didn't see how further lessons could be any more informative. I didn't enroll in TTU. I do regret missing 5 months of this. Fast forward 5 months, and I'm right back where I started, except this time I remembered Tidy Tutor. After paying the nominal $197, seriously, yes, I said nominal, because for the piece I've gotten, it is, I started going for it. While I'm still relatively new, she isn't anymore, boy, she's a rock star, I can tell you that if you've made it so far as to be reading my message, then you need this as much as I do. Do it. Take the course. Join Insiders. It's impossible to regret. Here's another one. I absolutely love TTU. It is such a great course. Thank you, Kathy. It's probably the best investment in my life I've ever made. And that's from Olga. This is from Sarah. I've been working on TTU for about a month now, and I can't begin to describe what a difference I already see in our lives. Thank you. If it is something that you've ever thought about, now's the time. Okay, so I'm just going to read a question. It's Terry said, we have an amazing supportive group and Terry is one of our alumni. She's a rock star too. We have an amazing supportive group that nothing is embarrassing. Nothing is too scary. You continue to rock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our life has changed so much. It's priceless. Thank you so much, Terry. I love you so much. I'm going to put this up tonight. It's going to be recorded this evening for everybody that isn't. That's why I'm making it 48 hours, because there's so many people that couldn't have made it tonight. Let me just read a couple of things because maybe there might be questions. Let's see. Clarissa said, can we sign up for Tidy Tutor University and need to log in? Thank you, dear Kathy. You're such a blessing. Yeah, you would have to log in. When you sign up for Tidy Tutor University, you immediately get access. You get a letter, and it tells you what to do right away. Like, it tells you everything that you need to do. It's very simple. If for whatever reason you have a problem, just email me, give me a phone call. I'll type in my phone number right here. My phone number is on the website as well. So if you don't get it here, 201-290-4549. You could text me. You can call me. All right. We need the link to the deal. Oh, how funny is that? All right, let's see. It is ttinsiders.com/TTU-enroll. Let's do it. Ready? Okay, there it is. In the recording, when I have the recording on the page that I have, I'll have the link on there that could be clicked on. So if for whatever reason it's difficult for you to do now, you'll have it on that page. Christina said, the Facebook group is incredible. Kathy is available and you always get her insight. Christina said, I really hope that if you're on the fence, you'll stop hesitating and join. Thank you. Clarissa said, thank you for the link. And I'm signing up. Awesome. Yay. Welcome. Jane said, you're my pseudo mom. Oh, I love that. Thanks, Jane. Clarissa said, thank you for such a wonderful webinar. Oh, you're welcome. All right. I'm so happy. I had a great time. Please, feel free to email me and let me know if you have any other questions or whatever. Okay. All right. Have a great night.